Aphantasia. Have you ever been unable to sleep and someone tells you to count sheep? You may be able to conjure up a picture of a field of sheep and start counting them until you fall peacefully asleep. Or perhaps you just get very frustrated because imagining a green field is hard, and trying to populate it with sheep that don't instantly disappear turns into a nightmare instead of the nice peaceful slumber you wanted. Perhaps you are hopeless at remembering faces and have to bluff your way through as someone you can't place has a long conversation with you at the supermarket. Maybe you have wondered how everyone can get so engrossed in reading a book. You've never really taken to reading and can't understand the attraction. Friends have explained how it's like watching a film, but you can use your imagination to make it even better, and everyone will have a different, unique visualization of it. If any of these things ring a bell with you, it's most likely that you suffer from poor imagination, but most people do have an imagination to varying degrees. However, about 2% of the population suffer from aphantasia. This has only recently been taken more seriously, although the phenomenon was first described by Francis Galton in 1880. Aphantasia is the inability to visualize, and many people do not know that they have the condition, although they may suspect that something about their imagination is a bit different, not quite the same as other people's. Think of an apple, and now in your mind's eye, turn it around. Can you see the stalk, a blemish on the side? If you have aphantasia, you won't be able to see it at all. Someone with aphantasia will be able to say an apple is green or red, has a stalk, and can bruise easily, but they are unable to conjure up a picture in their mind. Are you able to remember the bedroom you had as a child? You probably have a picture of it in your mind now. Someone with aphantasia will be able to tell you the address they lived at, that it was upstairs, had a bed in it, etc., but just as facts. In 2015, Adam Zeman, a professor at Exeter University who studies this, came up with the name aphantasia. He is adamant that aphantasia is not a disorder and may affect more people than previously thought. He has also found that, surprisingly, people with aphantasia are able to dream in pictures. There is also a polar opposite of aphantasia, hyperphantasia, which is an overactive imagination. Visual imagery, in the majority of people, involves a network of brain activity that goes from the frontal cortex of the brain all the way to the visual areas at the back. It is thought that when we imagine something, we try to reactivate the same pattern of activity in our brain as we used previously. The better we are at doing this, the better imagination we have. It is thought that people with aphantasia may be unable to reactivate this pattern or are using a different network. Hyperphantasia, or overimagination, could have its own set of problems. It may be associated with addictions, cravings, and stress disorders. Interestingly, people with aphantasia, when they learn of their condition, are surprised to hear that the saying "in my mind's eye" meant just that, and wasn't an odd saying. I love Walt Disney's Fantasia, and if anything, I think Walt must have had hyperphantasia. But I wonder if Professor Zeman got the inspiration for the name aphantasia from Walt.